Hangul is a Korean writing system that was developed in the 15th century by King Sejong the Great, one of the most respected and admired kings in Korean history. Hello everyone, my name is Ntabi, and today we're going to be going over the origin of one of the most unique writing systems in the world, Hangul. Before the creation of Hangul, there was something called Hamja, which is a collection of Chinese characters used to represent Korean words. People on the Korean peninsula would use this for their names and words in general. Now, because there are over 1,000 Chinese characters, this meant that unless you had time and money to learn all of it, you did not know how to read or write, meaning that a large portion of the lower class did not know how to read or write. King Sejong saw this as a big problem and thus used his intelligence and skills in linguistics to create a new Korean alphabet, something that was unique and special to the people on the peninsula. However, there was a lot of pushback, and in order to understand why there was great pushback, there's a lot of political context that needs to be added. Now, as someone who doesn't really know that much about the historical context of this, I will give you a general idea. You see, during that time, they had a class system that existed way before the Joseon dynasty as well. This class system used a lot of lessons that were taught by Confucius and Mencus to establish a class system. And this class system meant that people from the upper class and some people from the middle class were the only ones that could enter parliament, that could read or write, that had a lot of privileges back then that are now seen as basic human rights. So, with the creation of the new writing system, this meant that it would dismantle or it will contradict the existing class system. So because the politicians and the ministers back then were from the upper class, they had a lot of pushback. They gathered forces with the scholars and wrote to the king that they cannot change this and make it an official writing system, which is probably why you would see that the official establishment of Hangul was only seen centuries after it was created, notably in the 1800s. But now it's the most common used writing system in Korea. Of course, that does not mean that Hamja is completely thrown out. Hamja is also still used to represent Korean names. How awesome is that,